Hello and welcome to Bengal Magazine, the first episode of 2012. My name is Jeff Ventura, keeping the seat warm for Tom Kohler this week. On our show today, we'll be talking basketball and swimming. In the first segment, we'll have women's basketball coach Sue Roarke and sophomore Bianca Smiley. Then we'll talk men's hoops with head coach Fajri Ansari and senior forward Ahmed Nagaya. And then we'll jump in the pool with head coach Dan Allen and his sophomore distance swimmer Sam Miner. When we come back, we'll talk women's basketball with Sue Roarke. Welcome back. We're talking women's basketball with head coach Sue Roarke and sophomore forward Bianca Smiley. Welcome to the show. Great season so far, 12-2 overall, 5-2 in SUNY. We had an 8-game winning streak that just came to an end on Saturday with a tough loss on the road. Just talk about your impressions of the season to this point.
Yeah, I think we're very excited about where we are so far. We've had a lot of new faces to try and mesh together early in the year, and at this point to have 2 losses in the conference, both of which are on the road, so we get the chance to see those teams both at home.
I think a unique experience this year is there have been so many lopsided games recently that you've really been able to get a look at your bench and probably protect your starters and keep their energy level up. Do you see that being a benefit down the stretch?
Yeah, it's something that's definitely new to our program, and our younger players have added so much to our team. It's given them a lot of minutes and a lot of experience right away.
One of the big parts of the schedule so far, we had a trip to Daytona Beach, Florida over the holiday break. 2 wins down there, including a win over Bates. Down 16 with, I believe it was 5 minutes remaining, and roared back and won that game. Talk about that game and then what that game can do for the team moving forward.
Yeah, that game was probably one of the most fun experiences I've had as a coach, and just watching our team battle through that. And Bates is in the NESCAC, which in women's basketball is one of the powerhouse conferences that usually get several teams in the NCAA tournament. So to be able to defeat a team in that conference, I think just talks about where our program has come.
Huge part of that win, sitting next to 28 points, 14 rebounds, Bianca Smiley. First, talk about that game. What's the attitude on the bench when, I'll admit, I was watching the live stats at home and put my son to bed and kind of turned off the live stats and said, I'll write the story later, and came back and we had won the game. I was a bit surprised. Talk about the attitude on the bench and what went into that comeback.
It just went by so fast, the comeback. I didn't even expect to come back, actually, but Barb, she really pushed us, and she was a really good leader during that game.
28 points, 14 rebounds. I think you had something to do with it as well. First year at Buffalo State, transferred from Adai, made an instant impact with their team in the Allegheny Mountain Conference last year, and now coming to the SUNY and second on the team in scoring right now, top rebounder, one of the top rebounders in the conference. Talk about your experience coming to Buffalo State and how has it gone for you so far?
I have no complaints so far. I don't plan on having any complaints. Our team chemistry is really great, and we get closer and closer every day. And I just love the school overall. It's a big campus, and Medai was really small. I wasn't really that satisfied with that.
A local product out of Sweet Home High School, so haven't had to go too far from home. Talk about what that's like playing in your hometown in college.
It's nice because my parents get to come to every game, and it's always nice to have their support.
So you've mentioned a little bit with depth, and before the depth, we've got what I call our big 3 with Stacey McElroy, Barb Klezak, and obviously Bianca, all averaging double-digit scoring, and then the depth off the bench. Talk a little bit about the roster this year.
Yeah, our depth, has definitely led to our success this year, and the nice thing is, we're at a point now that we can have a starter have an off day and still survive, because usually there's somebody else to pick that up, and we've got 3 talented freshmen, that come off the bench and definitely can contribute on a given day for us.
What's the style of play that we're playing this year?
Yeah, we're trying to run a lot out in transition, trying to press. We talk about defense every day and how, if we want to win the conference championship, that's, what's going to get us there. So it's something that we work on in practice every day. And I think, we've gotten better at it, but we still have some steps to improve upon.
Obviously, things are working. Last I looked, we were top scoring team in the conference and top defensive points allowed team in the conference. Bianca, talk a little bit about playing defense and taking care of things at the defensive end of the court.
She always stresses my post defense, and I try to work at it every day in practice. It is really tough, but that's going to be my main focus from here on.
What are your personal strengths on the defensive end?
I use my athleticism a lot to try to get steals when they look to pass the ball in the post.
Okay, so looking forward, we've got 11 games remaining, all conference games. Conference at the top is pretty tight right now. I believe there's 3 teams with 2 losses, and just Oneonta, just 1 game ahead of us with 1 loss. Handicapped the last 11 games a little bit. We still haven't seen everybody at least once yet. So what do you see moving forward?
Yeah, I think, right now we're sitting in second. Obviously, we'd like to be in first to host the playoffs in the end. This weekend will mean a lot. We've got Plattsburgh and Potsdam coming into our gym, and Plattsburgh beat Geneseo already, and Potsdam beat Cortland, so they're definitely very quality teams. And at that point, if we can survive this weekend, the 2 teams that we do have a loss to, we get a chance to play at our place. So, we're really optimistic moving forward.
A real difference in the last probably 20 years in SUNY women's basketball with the parity that you see now. And you mentioned, a team like Cortland is toward the bottom of the standings this year, a perennial power, and we've made a nice turnaround from a couple of years ago. Bianca, talk about team goals for the rest of the season and personal goals as well.
We just want to start another winning streak and just keep on winning. We can go as far as we want to go.
What about from a personal perspective? Do you set personal goals for yourself?
I just want to keep improving my post defense because that's what wins games. Defense.
Coach, you excited to hear the defensive talk? I know every coach talks about that. Bianca, criminal justice major, and you mentioned Buffalo State's a good fit for you. Talk a little bit about the school and what goals you might have outside of basketball.
I would like to keep my GPA above 3.4. I think that's good. And I want to figure out what I actually want to do with criminal justice because I really don't know.
One of our strongest programs, and obviously a lot of options there. So if you could just go into a little bit more the depth on the team and mention some of the kids and their strengths.
Yeah, obviously, a starting lineup you talked about, our 3 scorers, that have really led us this year on the offensive end. And then our freshmen coming off the bench. We have Hillary Kohler, who's a really nice shooting guard, and Olivia Luciani, who can do a little bit of everything. She can pass pretty well into the post. She can get to the basket a little bit. And then we also have Ashley Wallace now, who's coming off an injury that just started with the second semester. And I think her depth will really help us inside.
And one other thing, you may not be on again before, we do have with Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up in February, we do a Think Pink or a Pink Zone awareness game. Talk about when that is and what that event will feature.
Yeah, that game's in February, and it's something that the Women's Basketball Coaches Association has organized for several years now, and the donations go to the K-Yow Breast Cancer Society. And our assistant coach, obviously Max Payne has been directly touched by this, having lost his wife to a battle with breast cancer. So it's something that's really close to his heart, and I think something that our team has really embraced because of that.
A great cause, and a number of home games left before that, including 4 straight, 2 this weekend. Friday night at 6 p.m. against Potsdam, Saturday at 2 p.m. against Plattsburgh. Good luck in both of those games and for the rest of the season. Thanks for coming on today. When we come back, we'll continue talking basketball with men's basketball coach Fajri Ansari and junior guard Jake Simmons. Welcome back. We're still talking hoops on the men's side, this time with head coach Fajri Ansari, senior forward Ahmed Nagaya. Guys, welcome to the show. A good run so far. Like the women's team, enjoyed a lot of early season success. Started 11-1, ranked as high as 12th in the country. Couple losses this weekend, faced a little adversity with one of our top players, Justin Mitchell, sidelined with injury. But still 11-3 overall, 4-3 in conference, but early going in conference play. Talk about your thoughts on the season so far.
Well, to be a champion, we strive to, for a championship. If we win the SUNY, and hopefully that'll get us, obviously go to the NCAA tournament. But within that journey, there's always going to be some adversity that a championship team, when I'm sure teams who go undefeated like the whole season, you see them get knocked off sometimes in the playoffs. So hopefully now this will make us stronger. But we got a lot of things we have to work on. It was a great expectations for us coming into this season. But I always felt we were still kind of young in experience. We lost 2 key starters from last year's team. But I'm enjoying it, even though at this point I'm not at the moment because of the adversity. But I think we could stay on track with our goals.
You mentioned last year's team, and obviously SUNY champions and a run to the Sweet 16. Sets up expectations that may or may not even be fair for the following season, like you said, with 2 starters gone and a number of new faces to the program this year. Things changed a little bit. I'm at your 4th year with the program. You've seen the growth of the program. Talk about how the season's gone for you so far.
Well, I feel the season's gone pretty well for us. It's just that we just lost those couple games that put a bump in our road to our goal, where we're trying to go. We're trying to win SUNY and national championship. And this season, compared to other seasons, is a lot of new faces coming in. So it's like a lot of teaching we have to do. We have to get them to know how we run our practices and how we run in the games and everything.
He used the word run twice, and that's certainly what fans get to see in a Buffalo State basketball game. But I would guess that a lot of that energy is different than some of these kids are used to playing. Talk about the learning curve with so many new faces to play catch-up in our system.
Ahmed mentioned a key thing, which is practice. And I always say, the games, the championships are won in practice. And the intensity level and the work ethic, it's definitely a learning curve for some of our new freshmen. The talent is there, but the understanding of day in and day out. And, again, because of the expectation, we're going to pretty much see the best game from everybody. They get up to play us, and if we're not matching that intensity in little things, so those little things, the fundamentals that we're trying to stress in practice, they came back to hurt us last couple of games, and we've been able to see those things on film. So hopefully we can make those adjustments.
And that's the end of those last 2 games. We're 11-3, so we don't need a somber vibe here. Talk a little bit about what makes Buffalo State basketball one of the top programs in the conference, if not the top program in the conference, especially from a scoring standpoint.
Well, we like to play aggressive. We want to run. Personally, I just think the game of basketball should be exciting. At times you will get into a chess game, but I'd rather see that more towards the closing. Not throughout the whole game necessarily. We got some exciting players, and I think our future is still bright, with some of the freshmen once we get the learning curve. And we want, to be fun for the fans to come out and see. And we really enjoyed the run last year, and we're trying to, continue to build on that. I like to, stress a fast break approach, and at the same time exercise maneuvering speed and discipline when we need to be in the half court, and that's easier said than done in some instances, especially when it has to be a cooperative effort.
Ahmed, talk about your role in that style of play. Obviously, we've got some guys that can slash to the hoop, and we've got some quick guards. You're one of the bigs. It's a little tougher on you to get up and down. Talk about how you fit in that style and whether or not you enjoy playing that brand of basketball.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy playing it. Like where I came from, that's what we all did. And first of all, you have to be in shape. Right. You definitely have to be in shape for this position that we play. And all you got to do is just run and gun.
I do want to talk a little bit about off the court, a mechanical engineering major, one of the more difficult majors we offer at the school. Talk about your career goals. You'll finish your basketball career this year with 1 year left in the 5-year program. Yeah. Talk about your goals beyond and how you came into that major.
Yeah, well, I decided to pick the major because when I was younger, I used to like breaking things apart, and like I love the movie Little Rascals, and that really inspired me to become a mechanical engineering major. And I really want to, in my life, I want to go into like cars and stuff, like building cars and working with transmissions and everything.
Good luck to you, and again, we'll be sending you applications for the Bengal Club when you've made it big to financially support our program. Coach, talk about the conference a little bit. We've got 11 games remaining, all in the conference, and as usual, it's a pretty tight conference. Oswego separated itself a little bit, and then everybody else is right. There's probably 6 teams right in that pack.
Well, yeah, it's always been a tough conference. There's good coaches there, and we have ways to kind of exploit the weaknesses. I think we've met some really good competition so far this year, and actually have won some games with teams I think actually are tougher than some of the teams that we faced so far. But again, the familiarity of what we do, and being able to to study game film. You have to really be ready to make adjustments throughout the course of the game. But it's a good conference. It's a good league. I think it's one of the better Division III conference in the nation. And if whoever rises to the top is definitely going to be tested and ready, for NCAAs, and we're hoping to be there.
Traditionally, conference represents very well at NCAAs. 3 wins between the 2 programs that made it last year in the tournament. 2 big games this weekend. Get the team back on track. We've got Potsdam on Friday night at 8 p.m. at the Sports Arena. Plattsburgh on Saturday at 4 p.m. Talk a little bit about what we're going to try and do in those 2 games.
Again, it makes defensively we have to work. We have been able to run. We put some points up the last couple of games, not totally to our standard, but we're going to have to really lock down better on defense, move the ball around. Not sure if we have all our players back healthy or not, but we had a full week to try to prepare ourselves for them. But I know Potsdam and Plattsburgh, they're going to be game. Again, good coaches in those programs, and we look forward to it. Ahmed,
one of the player that we're speaking about, Justin Mitchell, who's injured, is one of the bigs. Yeah. How does that affect what you need to do in your preparation for the weekend?
Well, that makes me have to play even bigger. I have to be a bigger role in the paint. I got to be on the ball at all times, bring pressure, and rebound a lot.
And so far this season, you've had a number of big games, so obviously you're rising the challenge, and we've seen your development over the 4 years. Again, Friday night at 8 p.m. against Potsdam, Saturday at 4 p.m. against Plattsburgh. Guys, good luck, and we look forward to watching. Fans, come on out. It's a very exciting brand of basketball, especially Plattsburgh will probably try to run with us. And,
sure.
My fingers will be tired from keeping the stats and keeping up with the pace of play. But I appreciate your coming on, and good luck this weekend. When we come back, we'll talk swimming with head coach Dan Allen and sophomore distance swimmer Sam Miner. Welcome back to our final segment. We're talking swimming and diving with head men's and women's coach Dan Allen and sophomore distance swimmer Sam Miner. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks, John.
And welcome back. In the home stretch of our season here, just got back from Clearwater Beach, Florida. I believe it was a 10-day trip, a little bit longer, by bus.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the season to this point, and then we'll get into the trip a little bit.
We just came off our ECAC championships about a month and a half ago down in Long Island. We did pretty well down there. We had a lot of season best times, even lifetime best times. We trained a little bit before we got to exams weeks, and then the kids went home for about 10 and 12 days, and then I brought them back the last weekend in December. We trained a couple days up till New Year's. January 1st, got on a bus, took a 22-hour trip down to Clearwater Beach, Florida. Got down there the 2nd, was there all the way till the January 12th. Trained pretty well down there. Had a lot of great training. Had some fun on the beach. We did some intense dryland training on the beach. And then came back on a bus January 12th, got back January 13th. Was looking forward to swimming Wells College, but our meet got canceled due to the winter storm. So right now we're just in the midst of training until our Oswego meet, which is this Saturday.
A rude snap back to reality after coming from Clearwater. And the weather was nice here until you guys came back, actually.
So.
10 days down in Florida, some exhibition meets and things of that nature. People wondering, well, there's pools in Western New York. What does Florida afford you the opportunity to do that you can't do here?
I think one of the reasons why I take my team down to Florida is for team chemistry purposes. It's a chance for a lot of our teams to get together. And they're going to spend pretty much every waking minute with one another. And also, it's a set of me to kind of get away from Western New York. Train down in a 50-meter long course pool and give the kids a chance to enjoy the sunshine and enjoy Clearwater Beach scenery. And I think it was just good, fun nature to get the kids away. And it's good for me too, because peace of mind with my coaching staff. I can spend a lot of time with my coaching staff. And like I said, you're spending every waking minute with. At times it's great, and then there are times where you're just pulling your hair out because you have some problems. So
now it's interesting. I had pictures yesterday with the track and field team, and swimming and track and field, there's some parallels there. You mentioned the team building. An interesting challenge, you probably have kids practice at all different times, so to get them together. Sam, talk about the experience of the trip a little bit, and actually bonding and getting to know your teammates probably a little bit more than maybe even wanted to.
Well, it was a great experience. Last year it was good too, and definitely like the 50-meter pool, getting we don't have that many lanes here, and we all spread out and everything. But just training with everyone, because there's 2 different practices during the school year, so just training with everyone is great, and then living with them too. We don't get the chance to do that, so that's also great. Bringing us team together as a whole is definitely. And then we do the team building thing that we have. It's you got to sprint, and try to get. You really got to sprint and get the amount of 3100s that we have to do.
I do a team builder set down in Florida that kind of tests every swimmer that's down there. And basically the idea of it is you have to work together as a team to finish the set. And your I guess in a sense is your weakest link is only as good as your strongest link, and you have to work together to finish the set. If you can't work together to finish the set, it's a grueling set to try to finish alone. So let's put it that way. That's what he's trying to explain in a set like that.
So, say I'm not a natural sprinter, a distance swimmer is your specialty. A very strong SUNY your freshman season, a top 8 finish in the mile. Talk a little bit about what that accomplishment meant and what that sets the table for heading into this year's SUNY.
Well, last year at the beginning of the season, and the first meeting I had with Coach was, I want to make top 8 in my mile, and I did it. It was only by 0.19 seconds, which was really hard to watch because we were in different heats. But it was very exciting. I was very happy, and I trained over the summer. It was the first time I trained all year long. Never done that before, and I come into the season very strong, very different from last year, and we got to try to make top 5 this year, and you'll see it. I will. So.
Good confidence to have. And beyond the mile, what else can we look for you at SUNY?
I'll be doing the 500 freestyle. I'm going to try to make top 8 for that for this year. It's a very competitive event. It's getting it's stronger and harder every year. We got some freshmen from other schools coming in, very very tough freshmen, and so that'd be interesting. But then I'll be doing the 400 IM. That'd be new for me. I've just started training for that this year. And it's one of the hardest events.
I was going to say, can you pick more grueling events to mile on the 400 IM?
I don't know why he does this to me. But.
Well, you can handle it, I'm sure. Dan, 2 dual meets left at Oswego this Saturday and Brockport at home the following Saturday. And then SUNY February 8th through 11th in Buffalo, downtown Buffalo. What do you try to accomplish the rest of the way? We talked off camera a little bit. It's different than the other team sports where you want to win every game.
Correct.
The final score isn't necessarily the outcome we have in mind.
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish here?
Oswego, what I'm really trying to accomplish is we're in the hell week of our training right now, and I'm trying to push the kids to the point of almost trying to break them because we're coming into our home stretch, and we're going to start resting and getting up to that point. I'm trying to get the kids to learn how to swim fast, tired. And that's where I'm really trying to kind of hit at Oswego. Brockport's our last meet of the year. I'll tell you right now, that's our fierce rival. I always want to beat Brockport. I'll tell you right now, last year we went to Brockport, beat them on the guys' side, barely lost on the women's side. I'm looking for that meet to be an intense meet, very emotional. Trying to swim some great times going into our championships, and obviously at our championship meet, I want to have the great meet we had last year with the energy. I'm looking for kids to really step up. Right now, I like everything I see in my team. We're progressing well. The one thing I want the kids to do is to believe in themselves. If they believe in themselves, I'll tell you right now, we'll do some great things at SUNY.
Just under a minute left, Dan. We talk about the swimming and diving season being different. You build towards something, and you're excited about the way it's building now. Give us a couple names that we should be excited to watch at SUNY from both the men's and women's side.
One, obviously, the person to my left, Sam Miner. He's been training like an animal. I'll tell you right now, when he first walked into my door his freshman year, I didn't realize he was going to be this good. And I'll tell you right now, he has real potential to really turn some heads. And I'll tell you right now, it wouldn't be surprised me if he broke 3 or 4 school records at SUNY. Another one, obviously, is Caitlin Mergler. She's training really well. Jenny Strom, freshman. She's training phenomenal right now. She's already going her lifetime best times by, in the 100 free by 2 or 3 seconds, 200s, 2 or 3 seconds. The way she's training in practice, she's just doing great. My seniors, Jackson Taylor, he's training really great right now, Nate Sham too, he's putting in the work in. I'll tell you right now, wouldn't be surprised if we broke a lot of school records like we did last year.
Well, it's an exciting time. It's a great atmosphere down at the Flickinger Center.
Yeah.
Again, February 8th through 11th. Come out to see the fierce rival Brockport come to Kissinger Pool on January 28th as well, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this edition of Bengal Magazine. Thanks to our great staff down here in Instructional Resources, as always. And we'll see you again right here in 2 weeks.